This month in RAD Studio, we've got enterprise connectors in Enterprise, which seems kind of appropriate given the name. We've got finally a RAD Studio Android 64-bit beta to play with. We get a lesson in style from Ray Konopka, and we've got plenty of Windows 10 webinar replays to get through. Thanks for joining us this month. It's been a really busy time at Code Partners over the last couple of months, so I've only just snuck this one in. This is the episode for September, and strictly speaking it is still September, but it won't be tomorrow, so apologies that this one's a little bit late. Thanks for joining us though. First up, we've got, as I mentioned, enterprise connectors in Enterprise. Now, it seems like finally the packaging has caught up with the name. I've spoken many times about enterprise connectors. I'm a big fan of enterprise connectors. If you're not aware of what they are, they're basically FireDAC drivers. But rather than FireDAC drivers that talk to a relational database somewhere, or even a non-relational database, they are enterprise connectors that talk off to other applications. So if you need to get data from somewhere, whether it's Salesforce or Jira or Xero or MYOB or any number of other applications, in fact not any number, there's 100 plus other applications that you might want to pull data from, these are FireDAC drivers that let you do that. So you can treat, rather than going in through the REST API, for example, or some other API into these applications, you can just throw SQL at them. Use your data-aware controls, use all of the techniques that you're kind of used to using already in RAD Studio. So enterprise connectors have been around for a little while. I've spoken about them before. I'm a big fan of them. I use them very extensively across our own projects and projects that we do for other people. The good news is that enterprise connectors are now just becoming a standard part of RAD Studio Enterprise and Delphi Enterprise, C++ Builder Enterprise. There have always been two levels of enterprise connectors. There's enterprise connectors and enterprise connectors plus. So the enterprise connectors package, which in my experience has the bulk of the drivers that most people will want. I think certainly with maybe one exception, all the drivers that I've ever used from enterprise connectors have been in that enterprise connectors level package. And I realize I'm saying enterprise connectors a lot. Most of all bar one of the drivers that I've ever used have been in that package that's now, or very shortly, going to be part of the enterprise version of the IDEs. You'll be able to get it through, I just realized what I was about to say. These namings, wow. You'll be able to download them through Get It and also through EDN. Atnas Popov, GM of Embarcadero, has put a blog post up talking about a few of the changes they're making going into the next quarter. This being one of them. He talks about where you'll be able to get it. He also talks about the new version of EDN. So there's a bunch of things in there. There's a link to that blog post in the show notes. But this is a fantastic move, I think. We've had lots of inquiries from people about the enterprise connectors. Many people using them, but also many people wanting to use them, but maybe don't want all of the drivers. They only want a couple, and so financially the way that you bought the subscription in the past didn't make sense for them. So to me, this is fantastic. Also, when you combine it with the fact that the RAD server deployment license is now part of the enterprise SKU as well, throw in also this enterprise connectors package, and there's starting to be a lot of value going into the enterprise, additional value over Pro, going into the enterprise version of the IDEs. Read Atnas's blog post, but basically the subscription to the enterprise connectors will be tied to your subscription of RAD Studio or Delphi or CBuilder. So if you've got an active subscription, you'll just be able to grab it when it becomes available. Cool. In other news, something that I know many people have been waiting on quite eagerly, the Sugarloaf Beta is now available. Now, you may be scratching your head and wondering what a Sugarloaf Beta is. Sugarloaf is the code name for the next version or the next update to RAD Studio, Delphi, C++ Builder. 10.3.3 will be the numbering. That's now available if you've got an active update subscription for your version of Delphi or C Builder. You'll be able to get hold of that beta. I'll tell you in a second how to do that. The reason that I'm talking about it is that Serena DuPont has recently posted an article talking about some of the changes that are in there are on the mobile side, both for iOS 13 and also for Android 64-bit support. So really worth going over and reading Serena's post. She talks about automatic support for the dark theme inside iOS 13. Also talks about the Android 64-bit beta support. Important to understand that this beta, unlike a lot of betas where you are a little bit restricted in what you can deploy using the beta, this beta, they've opened up the license a bit more so that, especially with the Android 64-bit support, you can, if you build your app using the beta, you can deploy that application before the beta's finished. Yeah, so you can deploy straight away if you're ready to go. So any of you doing mobile development, you've probably already been waiting on this. So how do you get onto it? Well, it's open to anybody with an active update subscription, as has been the case for a while now with betas. How do you get onto it though? Basically, the best way is to go back to whoever you bought your update subscription from. If that's direct from Embarcadero, from an Embarcadero direct salesperson or something, go back and talk to them. They can get you on it. If you bought it through a reseller, go and talk to them. If you bought it through us, I'll put the email address up on the screen. Just give us an email and we can get you connected up on that beta, Sugarloaf Beta. Don't ask me what a Sugarloaf is, I don't know. But it's from my point of view, it's Android 64-bit support. That's what Sugarloaf is. A couple of episodes ago, I think I mentioned that Embarcadero were having a bit of a Windows 10 webinar season. There were, I can't remember exactly, 10 webinars on different aspects of Windows 10, how to modernize your applications, how to make them look and feel more Windows 10, but also how to take advantage of Windows 10 specific features. This was all tied in with the fact that, the Windows 10 deployment numbers, they keep reporting they're going through the roof, the most successful version of Windows since whenever. If you're in my situation and people in my part of the world where those webinars tend to be at some ungodly hour in the morning that I'm never going to get up for, doesn't matter what the webinar is, you're not going to get me up at that hour to watch it. The replays are available. So again, I'll put a link to the article where you can see the replays for all of those webinars. So I know it's starting to turn a little bit cold in the Northern Hemisphere, so maybe you can do some binge watching of these Windows 10 webinars to keep you going during the cold weather. Lastly, this month, Embarcadero have reposted a webinar from last year that I did watch at the time. It was from Code Rage last year, I think. But it was interesting to see it pop up again in the posts because I remember enjoying it a lot last year, and I watched it again now that they've reposted it, and it's a cracker. This is the Customizing Controls with FMX Styles webinar from Ray Konopka, the great Ray Konopka. It's all about using FireMonkey styles to alter maybe a single component, the appearance of a single component, or your whole UI, using the style designer tool that comes with the IDE. Great presentation if you're doing any sort of FireMonkey development work. Also, I would say just a great presentation, full stop. Ray is a pro at presentations. He's really calm, he's really clear, stays very focused on the message. He's totally the man when it comes to component development in Delphi and C++ Builder. I mean, he literally wrote the book on it. And every single time I watch it, I watch any of his presentations, I learn something. So even if you're not doing FireMonkey yet, I'd really recommend you watch this webinar. It was a great one to pop up again from Code Rage last year. As usual, feedback's very welcome. There's links to all of the articles and resources that we've mentioned from this month in the show notes. plus links to all the usual places that you can get in contact with us or follow us. If you'd like to be notified straight away when new videos are added, episodes of this, but also other videos that we post, then please encourage you to subscribe here in YouTube and you'll find out straight away. With that out of the way, have a great month. If you're like me, the weather's warming up, so that just puts you in a good mood straight away. But wherever you are, I hope you have a great month, and see you back here for the next episode. Cheers.